Hello, Maverick fans! Welcome to another edition of the Mavpuckcast with Jason.
And John.
As always, thanks for tuning in, listening to us babble on about UNO hockey and other random things.
Thank you very much.
Like what we're drinking.
Like what we're drinking.
What are we drinking?
I am drinking...
Other than our tears after that.
Other than our I'm drinking Canada Dry ginger ale and lemonade. Do you want me to... Do you want me to come up with a little...
sign?
Do you want me to come up with a story about this? Well, we've
No,
gotten a number of
because it's
Canadian
Canada Dry.
recruits, but Grand Forks is near Canada. How about that? And the can is green.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Mainly, I had kind of a uneasy stomach the last 24 hours. I don't know why, but so that's why I have this. So as I need a napkin to get the
It's not a podcast. We don't spill something. Does it taste like Canada Dry?
Yeah, it tastes like Canada Dry. I'm not really tasting the lemonade that much, but I don't have the side-by-side comparison of just regular Canada Dry and lemonade. But if you like ginger ale, I recommend Canada Dry.
There you go.
With lemonade. So what do you got?
So I got, I went throwback a little bit here. I've got a special edition from Fat Tire from New Belgium because I went to school there, so I'm a big New Belgium fan. And this is a Belgium white beer, so hopefully it kind of worked with the Johnny Walker white against Arizona State earlier this year. So I'm hoping that a white beer might help white out North Dakota.
Let's go with that.
See if we can.
Yeah.
So let's talk about our recent walloping. We played Denver again, and we lost to Denver again. Luckily, these seniors, because it was senior weekend,
yes,
the seniors get to leave having not lost every game to Denver.
No, they tied
one game against Denver.
And then they lost the NCHC-induced 3-on-3 overtime. That was
so upsetting. That was so stupid. That completely 100% was a mental mistake.
Well, it was weird.
Completely.
I can't remember exactly which three were on the ice, but I mean, it was like they just watched him skate in.
It was. I mean, the four were just tracking him just fine.
Yeah,
we were fine until about center ice.
Yeah, it was right in the neutral zone.
You should have pinched. The idea was there 10 minutes after it needed to be.
Sure.
Because the defense needs to slide over, cut him off. You pick up the middleman. I think this is standard 3-on-3 stuff.
I know.
Right? Come over, challenge the puck, try to get a turnover.
Yeah.
You want your forward on the backside so they can pick up the puck on a turnover.
Sure.
And they just weren't there. And he came in and he beat Evan on a good shot. But he should have never once had remotely that kind of opportunity to take that shot.
No.
But it's just so frustrating because the guys fought back.
But in the record books, it's a tie. So we got to give them that. Yeah.
But yeah, it's frustrating because they were down 3-1. They fought back.
They
got it tied up. They played really well in the third period.
You
thought they had a chance.
Yeah.
They held them well. I think they went 2.5, 3 minutes before Denver had a shot in the overtime.
Right.
So they put together a good 5-on-5 play, but
I was hoping it would go to a shootout.
Yeah.
That would have been great.
Then you got Lucas Savage.
I know. But he's just one guy.
Yeah, he worries me though.
I know, right?
I just don't.
Conley had a great. I tell you, his whole weekend was good.
He deserved the first star. I think if we win, you might give it to whoever gets the game-winning goal. But I mean, he had 2 good goals against DU on Saturday.
Former DU player who transferred to UNO. I'll tell you one of the coolest plays, and I watched this highlight a bunch of times because it just stood out to me in the first couple minutes on Friday night. UNO gets on a weird power play within the first few seconds of that game.
Yeah, there was a tripping call right off the opening faceoff.
And then there was, during the course of that power play, Pulkkinen had this just beautiful behind the back pass to Conley, and Conley couldn't finish it for the goal. But man, if they'd gotten that goal on Friday night, who knows what would have happened. But the behind the back pass was by Pulkkinen I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of those. They don't work out.
What do you
very
mean
frequently.
you're not a... it seems like something your boy Weiss would do.
It does seem something like that. It'd be something
fact,
that
I
Weiss
thought
would
it
do
was-
that
in
if I
fact,
was his coach, he'd be skating for.
In fact, I thought it was Weiss.
Yeah.
And then I had to look. I'm like,
Seems
oh, it was Pulkkinen.
It was Polkinen.
Yeah,
He's rubbing off on kids, huh?
that's right.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not. I mean, I usually because typically I think my thought is that you have a better chance if you just do a pull up curve or
You
got
got to be
like that,
careful
so.
because sometimes they do the little fancy stuff and then it ends up backfiring on them. Yep.
Well, because you do that behind the back thing and you get a forward that fills the lane, and that's what Denver's known.
Right,
Denver
and they-
fills lanes better than any team in
Yep.
the country, I think.
And they can intercept the pass and take it down the
They
ice
do.
for a score.
They
Yep.
make you think it's there, and then
Yep.
it's gone in a heartbeat.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's I think what killed us more than anything else is with Denver you have to make quick decisions. You have to make the right decision fast. And Friday night I think we made the wrong decision too often.
Yeah.
And Saturday night I think our problems a lot of times were that we weren't fast enough. I think that's like I said earlier, that was the problem with the
Sure.
overtime with the 3-on-3 was I think they made the right decision. They just made it too late and he had 2 steps on you.
Right.
So
Now, some fans thought that Saturday night performance was the team's best
game.
performance this season. What do you think about that?
I respectfully disagree.
I would
comment?
disagree with that too. I
Okay.
mean, it was great to see him come back.
It was a good game. I'm
It
not
was a
saying
good
they
game.
didn't play well.
Here's the thing. So, as you know, we brought our niece Scotland and her 2 brothers to the game.
Yes, and she's supposed to be the good luck charm.
Yeah.
We had the monkey.
I-
The monkey's supposed to be the good luck charm too.
Yeah. Well, we didn't lose in
Ish.
ish. Yeah. Well, what's the great thing though is that Scotland's mom was there.
Okay.
This was her first UNO hockey game ever.
Awesome.
Now you would think somebody that's related to us would have gone to a UNO hockey game, but she didn't. And so Bridget tells me this, and I'm like, going into the game, I'm like,
Your first
I
game
just-
and you bring him to Denver?
you bring them to Denver, yeah. I was really worried that it was just going to be kind of a boring, dull game. And fortunately, it was pretty exciting, but it's always tough in situations like that because people know how much we like UNO hockey and obsess over everything else. And you don't want them to come to a game and be like, why the hell do they spend so much time following this team? That is the world's most boring thing. It's probably the way baseball fans probably have to deal with that a lot when they take people to the game. Why they
Yeah. I don't know. I've taken a lot of people to their first
Yeah.
hockey game, and regardless of what level of hockey it is, I've never had someone say, "Oh, this sport's kind of boring."
Yeah, it's really it shouldn't be a boring sport. But I was concerned. I was concerned that the score
Yeah.
and the result might be like,
And actually, I usually get the best reaction. Well, I took someone to a game that ended in it was a 1-0 overtime.
okay,
for,
so there wasn't a lot of scoring, wasn't
Right.
a lot of
And I was kind of worried when I
Right.
took this guy there because I thought, all right, he's not going to have fun because there's no goals and that's that's the only thing that people care about.
sure.
But he appreciated the battle and he appreciated the and it keeps moving and that's a big thing with
And the
hockey is that
physicality
there's a
of the
lot
game.
of
Yeah.
there's a lot that happens when nothing happens.
Right.
And so I think it just works out well like that. And I will tell you, both these games, even with the 4-1 loss on Friday, it was still a good game.
That was a
It
really good
still fun
game,
to
yeah.
watch.
Yep. They
I
had
commend our guys. They fought well, especially these seniors. They've been through a lot in
They have.
4 years, and
They have.
and
They had
I
a lot
really
of
appreciate what they did to get on the ice to put the performance and then the hard work they put in over these 4 years.
Because after after how the season's gone, you didn't know how they'd finish, and they finished strong at home. And it's been a tough year for them. And obviously, coming in, you look at that, they came in the season after we went to the Frozen Four, so there
Right.
was a lot of expectations.
To continue that,
Yeah, a lot of excitement about that, and it didn't happen for them. So these guys have been fun to watch, and they've done a good job entertaining us over
Yeah.
the last 4 seasons. So.
And there's a lot of seniors that we were pretty close to, so we'll miss
Yeah.
them. So
Yeah, a lot of neat guys in this class, and
yeah,
for sure.
so, but hopefully they move on to future things.
Yeah, and I will say it all. There are some people are kind of it's almost like they're sounding like the season's over already after last weekend. We still have 2 series left.
Spoiler
so-
alert: we still have stuff to talk about.
Yeah, we still have stuff to talk about. So
North Dakota playoffs.
Yep.
and we can still make the NCAA tournament.
We still can make the NCAA tournament.
So
We got to win a lot of games to do it.
against
Yeah,
a lot
why
of
the-
good teams, but
why the hell
it's
not?
possible.
Yeah.
So we had a chance. We had a chance to sit with two of the seniors when we went to the Blue Line Club dinner on Thursday night.
Yep. What was that? Was that the 28th? February 28th?
Do dates. It was Thursday, dude.
Dinner with the Mavs.
Dinner with the Mavs. It was fun. It was a good dinner.
It was a good dinner. I wish
Yeah.
they'd have dessert at the dinner.
I don't think Gavin ever let that.
I don't think that's on his diet.
Dude, but we learned something.
Yes, we did.
Like big, mind altering, like earth shattering, huge. I mean, this is like how this is not like front page news on the newspaper. I do not understand.
I don't know either. There's a myth
But-
that's been going around online for the last few years.
Since Gabnett started coaching,
Yeah.
Gabnett doesn't like kale.
No, he told us he really doesn't care for it that much. Because
I know.
that was our question that we were going to ask was, where do you get your kale?
We asked him, and he
said,
said
"I
he
really
doesn't really like kale.
No.
And we all kind of stood there like, who are you and where did you put our coach?
See, this is the kind of stuff when we get, he should come on the podcast. We could learn all kinds of really interesting things because he's a really good
how
guy.
do you feel about broccoli?
Yeah, how do you? Yeah, we could go through all of the
We could just go through all the-
legumes. Yeah,
Yes. And Brussels sprouts and
sure. We could ask him what his typical diet was, his exercise. Sure, we could do all kinds of things. I don't know that that'll happen, but we'll keep talking to the coach and see.
I
what's
did
gonna-
say, well, our cookie's okay, and he kind of glared at me and shook his head. So I don't think we're
cookies
getting dessert
probably are.
anytime
I
soon.
know. I eat, especially this time of year. I eat that crap all the time.
All right, so here's what we're doing. This is.
What?
Do you think Blue Line Club people like listen to the podcast?
Sure. I think. Yeah. Everybody listens to the podcast, right?
I assume.
Oh,
so.
of course,
Probably.
yeah.
All right.
Without a doubt.
I think we should like MI6 James Bond this. I think we should like sneak in contraband, right?
Would you?
Like smuggle in
Where are you?
chocolate chip cookies.
Wait for the players.
I don't care who. I was trying to like smuggle in a
Oh,
bag of chocolate chip
you mean to
cookies. Break them out right in front of
Excuse
coach
me,
and see
to
what
the
happens.
next dinner with the Mavs. We could.
This
could
will
you
probably
imagine-
get us banned, wouldn't it?
Bridget goes to like Hy-Vee and just buys those, the brown boxes of the chocolate chip cookies, the
Oh, yeah.
oatmeal raisin cookies, and she just stacks them there on a table at the end and see how that goes over. It's not going to go over well.
They could be homemade. So it's like, how can you like turn down homemade chocolate chip cookies, right?
Sure.
I don't know,
But-
Coach probably could.
Well, they probably could. They probably have some, it's like, at Halloween when your kids aren't allowed to, eat the,
Right.
homemade looking stuff. So it has to be so we may have to do like store bought on
All
that.
right. I got $10 that says when I sign up for the dinner with the Mavs the next time I get an email back that says, FYI,
Desserts
desserts are not allowed. You cannot bring in outside food or
That's
drink.
right. But we got to sit with Freddie Olafson and
did.
Lukas Bukta, which was cool to hear them kind of reminisce on their years because they had
Yeah.
2 seasons with Blaze at the
and then two
home
with
and
Gabinett.
2 seasons with Gabinet at the home, and so it was really interesting to hear them reminisce on some of the interesting things and the differences between the two coaches. It was
Yeah.
it was fun. It was fun to talk to them, and they both seem like really good guys.
We've talked about recruiting and stuff. That was
Sure.
the part that I think really interested me was the
Oh, yeah.
difference that they had with recruiting
Yeah.
with Blaze and the experience they had and their opinion of kind of Blaze and the
Sure.
recruiting process. Because they were recruited at pretty much the same time.
Yeah.
So that was really interesting.
Yeah.
Talking to them about that and a little bit about, what they see of the recruits when
Yep.
they come in for visits
Yeah.
and things like that. I think that, one of the things I want to do is get with one of the freshmen next year or the current freshmen that'll be sophomores next year when we go to the next Blue Line event or something.
Maybe get
And-
to sit with some of the younger guys and
yeah,
see what
see
their
what they say
impressions of
about
you
Gabinet's
yeah.
recruiting process.
Yeah.
And take their comments and kind of compare that to what we heard from Freddie and Lucas. Just to kind of get a feel for like how's that recruiting process different because everyone has their own style.
Yeah, because it's very possible that the Blaze recruits a number of them might have committed because it was Dean Blaze,
Right.
the legend who won the national championships. With Gabonette, there might be different reasons. It might be because you see in some of these recruiting reports, a lot of them say that they feel home at the school, they like the business college. You hear more about the academic stuff and the institution itself. So it might be interesting if we get a chance. You never know who will sit by next time. It could be a veteran who's been around here for 3 or 4 years, but it's fun to get to talk to those guys just to kind of learn their impressions because we don't always know those things about the recruits. So it's pretty cool. But that event that's a nice event. We had a good time.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you,
we appreciate the Blue Line Club putting it on because it is a fun thing for us to do.
We really do. And one of the things I will tell you, one of the little tidbits that we learned while we were there.
Other than kale not being his favorite.
That's right.
Food.
Somebody asked the question because the coach took questions. Now, he didn't actually take the kale question. We asked him that.
We had to ask him that afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah. But somebody did ask him what the non-conference schedule is going to be next season. And we learned...
Wait, are we allowed to say it? It's not embargoed?
Right? I don't know. It's not embargoed, is it?
I don't know. Say it and see it.
Should I say it? Let's find out. Let's find out. Well, we don't know actual dates for any of this, but we do know that they're going to be playing Wisconsin at home.
Oh, boy.
We're going to be playing Arizona State at home.
Okay.
We're going to be playing Ohio State on the road.
Oh, good Lord.
I've been there. That's actually a fun trip. When we were in the CCHA, we went there.
Oh, yeah, because they were CCHA.
07, 2007? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then...
That's one I haven't been to. I might have to go there.
And then we get Maine and Alaska on the road.
Those will be interesting.
Which you were saying you wanted to go to Maine.
I do want to go to Maine. I haven't.
That'd be a cool one.
No, I haven't
been
to Maine.
I've never been to Maine.
I've seen Maine play because they came to Denver.
Right.
Back in the Paul Correa days. But
they've been to UNO a couple times.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. They came during the first season.
See, I just got to check the state off my list.
Yeah.
And hopefully it can be sometime when, during the NHL season, because then I can go catch, Rangers games.
Okay. Oh, that'd be cool.
Ooh, let's go see Rangers Jersey Devils. Yeah, Rangers Devils. We can go to a fight and a hockey game will break out.
You're gonna kill me when we went to the north. It was either the east or the northeast regional back in 2006. We had a chance one of those days to go down with some of the other fans to kind of the New York City, and then go to a New Jersey Devils game that night. And Bridget and I didn't go.
Who were they playing?
I don't know.
No, well, I don't really care about the Devils.
Oh, okay. I don't think they were playing the Rangers, but
no.
The Rangers would be cool.
If you pass the Devils Rangers, then this might be the Mavpuckcast with Jason.
So former UNO assistant David Quinn coached the Rangers. But anyway, getting back on topic, just in case.
Tangent.
I'll tell you, our Quinn Sebesta, who posts on the message board, was, he's like, I listened to your show for the first 15 minutes, and then you guys start to meander. And I lose track. All right, fine. So we'll stay on message here.
It's funny because I have meetings at work, and we have a meeting about some topic. It'll be easily 20 minutes before we even start talking about that. We start with our tangents.
Oh yeah,
at my work.
Yeah,
meetings.
I know. Whenever we go to client meetings, that's the way it is too. You're there 2 hours, and you barely talked about what's going on. You start talking about other stuff. Yeah.
What were we here for again?
Yeah, what were we? Especially if people who know we like hockey, we'll start talking about hockey for a while. All kinds of interesting stuff will show up. So, yeah, the Dinner with the Mavs thing was very cool. So if you get a chance to go next season, I know that one of the things Gabonette said at the Dinner with the Mavs is they're going to try to do more fan engagement stuff next season.
Yeah.
Which I think would be very cool. And one of the things that I've heard them talk that they'd like to bring back are the Hockey 101s. And they used to do those at a bar, and the coach would get up and break film, and you'd have a player there doing an equipment demonstration. It was just fun to be able to ask questions and have them break down plays and talk about their, philosophy and strategy during games, and why they have the line combinations they do, and why they have the certain
why they won't put together the line combinations I want.
Well, no, yeah, a lot of people addressed your CWS line that you want, and for the people listening, why don't you tell them who the CWS line is?
The CWS line is Conley, Weiss, and Spinner.
Yeah, so
because we're an Omaha team. How do we not have
the
a
college
CWS possibility and have it on the?
And so we mentioned that to Freddie and Bukta, and they're like,
they laughed at us.
They're like,
laughed at us.
They're like, who would center that line and who would back check. That was the other one. And then we mentioned it.
Yo, no, the best part was that Freddie was like, Freddie goes, well, yeah, but who's going to center that line? And then Bookta chimes in and goes, yeah, but who's going to back check?
Yeah, exactly. The defenseman is worried about back checking there. And then we mentioned it to Gabinet like after this.
Yes.
And he says the same thing. Who's going to center that line?
Like, I don't know. Pick one.
I don't know. Spinner volunteered to. Yeah.
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
absolutely.
Our friends, the Neubauers, had a sign created trying to petition for this.
Yes, they did. Yeah, Kevin Neubauer had that sign.
I got 2 games left to see this come true.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, you know what? They could have done that during the 3-on-3 overtime on Saturday night.
Well, if they don't back check, none of them are going to play D.
Well, we didn't back check anyway, so I don't think we were doing that particularly well on that when the goal was scored. So,
No.
Yeah, put those guys in there and just see what happens.
I even gave coach permission. I'm like, we sit right above you. You can just turn around and
I could tell
curse me. And
it was after that he told us he didn't like Kale very much. So I
know
he probably doesn't like us very much either.
Maybe.
Hey, it was cool. He's a good guy, by the way.
Is.
So yeah, if you get the chance to interact with Coach Gabinet, he's a great guy. We also got to visit with assistant coach Paul Gerard, who's a really impressive guy. So yeah, it was a lot of fun.
People should log on to Mavpuck and follow on Twitter and stuff. And you guys are always really good about making sure that information gets out there so they can see when those events are and when there's an opportunity, if they do bring back that Hockey 101 or something.
Yeah, I'll try to do a write-up on the dinner this week, and
Yeah.
we'll give some highlights of things that the people who didn't attend missed. So hopefully they'll decide to attend next season when they do it, because I thought it was a really cool event. We had a good time.
They talked about getting out with the youth more this summer and stuff, and in the fall and that. And I know my girls have always appreciated that when the Mavericks show up and help coach and stuff like that. So
yeah, it's neat to have the big guys coming.
those are guys I see play.
Yep.
A lot of their coaches have played, so it's nice to kind of see someone currently doing it. So, all right, what else we got to talk about?
Next on our agenda,
Jerseys,
the jersey
right?
auction. Yeah,
That was really cool. So
That was
Leap
very
for the
cool.
Cure did a fundraiser. They had each player wear a jersey in warm-ups and then auctioned them off. And even the guys that didn't skate had their jerseys out there, which was pretty cool. And it was a silent auction.
Yep.
And then you walked away with
Blankenberg.
blanks. You got blanks.
Yeah.
That's right.
You
How's it
ended
treating
up. You ended up with.
We had it. My youngest daughter is probably the head of Freddie Olsen's fan club.
Yeah.
The youngest serving member, maybe too. She's a huge fan. So she, it was either that or we. So I was kind of at risk of having both of them for a little bit there.
Bridget bid on Smollages too.
Oh, yes.
And then she got into a bidding thing with your friend Kevin.
Yes.
And at one point, Bridget's like, I don't want to pay for.
I don't want to
pay for 2 jerseys. Yeah.
Well, that was nice of you to let Kevin have it because
that was good. He wears a lot of jerseys to the games,
Yep.
and I know he really likes this, so I'm glad he was able to get one.
Yeah, and I think his daughter's kind of a fan, so
yeah,
I
that
think
was a good one.
I have a feeling it's more her jersey than his, but I'll have to ask him the next time I see him.
We'll see if he lets her wear that jersey, because it's a cool jersey.
He usually listens to the podcast, so he'll probably send me a message about when we post this about what's going on with the jersey. So
you're shaming him into
I might
sharing the jersey now.
We might need to tweet out updates on status of his jersey.
Yeah, exactly.
You
guys were lucky because you got to see Freddie after, because obviously there was no post-game celebration.
Right.
So I did not get a chance. See, I was really hoping on Saturday it was going to happen, because I knew you guys Bridget has a silver Sharpie.
Yeah,
and you guys have a silver Sharpie. And I was hoping that Alex would come out and then we could grab him and have him autograph the number on the jersey.
Yeah, we, just being fans and stuff, we ran into Freddie's parents when we've gone to games and stuff in Denver when we went out to the series there.
Right.
And we've run into him some other times.
His parents come to a lot of the games.
Yeah, and we see them a lot when they're here, and they...
Sure.
I say they recognize us. They recognize my daughter.
Yeah.
Not that she gives him any chance not to. I mean,
Sure.
she's pretty much right up there. So
Yeah.
so she saw us coming down with the jersey, and she knew we were bidding on it, and so she was pretty quick to make sure that Freddie signed it. And he, class act. He really is. Like, he wrote a nice little note to her about like thanking her for all of her support over the years and stuff. So
Yeah, he wrote a little thing on that was cool on the number. Yeah, that was
and then
awesome.
signed. Because he had asked where he wanted it signed. I'm like, well, sign it in the numbers, because that's kind of.
That was smart. That was a good idea, because
That's-
I was wondering where, because there's a white part. It's those Adidas Climalite
Right.
practice jerseys. So there's a white part up around the neck, and if you had a black Sharpie, I guess you could do it there. But this will be a lot nicer to have it on the number, which is a great idea on your part.
So so that's where we had him sign it, and that I really appreciate him taking the time. He's always been really good.
Yeah,
about spotting her in the lines when they come out for celebrations, and she's always quick to kind of run over to him, but he's never made us feel like we're
he's
intruding or anything.
He seems like
He's always
just
been
a really
receptive,
really
which is
casual,
great.
laid back kind of player. So that's what's cool about him, and his, like we said, his parents. We've gotten to say hi to them in the lobby, so they're really cool too. And yeah, it was just cool to get the jerseys. Now that you've got some of the jersey purists who were they were concerned because it wasn't a an actual game worn.
Well,
but
and I do have because I have a problem. Like, I really wasn't. I'm still kind of irked that it didn't have the names on the back of the jerseys.
I know, but
They said it was an NCAA thing, but I've got to find that regulation somewhere, because I have seen, even the weekend before this, I had seen a team that had done one of those jerseys off our back auctions where they played a game in a jersey and literally skated over to someone, took it off, signed it, and handed it to them. Like, I watched it on TV. So it's not a secret, and other teams do it where they have.
I know, it's one of those. I think it's the whole better safe than sorry thing, I don't have as much, because the past several jersey auctions they've done, they just put the numbers there. So ultimately, you try to get them. There's a woman that we know who's gotten like every jersey that they've ever done an auction for, and so she just tries to get, obviously, the signature of the player on there, so you get that whole thing. But it's interesting, because you kind of have to keep track and sort of inventory what season those jerseys were, so you know which number went with which player. But yeah, I thought they were great jerseys. I thought they were affordable at the auction, which sometimes some jersey raffles in the past, I remember ones where the lowest jersey was $500.
Yeah.
So this, you were able to get jerseys.
There's quite a few that went in the 200s.
Yeah, which I thought was really good. I thought they were cool jerseys, so I was glad to have the opportunity, and I know you were glad to have the opportunity. I wasn't sure that Bridget was going to let me get one, so I was pretty excited that she did.
Yeah, I was very happy.
I hope they do one of those things next year.
I think they should do a charity jersey auction every year.
Yeah.
Although I'd really see them, he talked about, and you mentioned that he mentioned this in the dinner, but, increasing the fan engagement portion of it. I'd like to see them do the jersey off our back thing, to have a ceremony where they actually give the jerseys away to whoever wins them or something. I mean, that'd be a cool way just to, bring fans out and get them involved to a certain extent.
It's always interesting, because sometimes when they do it, there was one season, if I recall correctly, where they ended up winning a game the night that they wore the jerseys, and so then I think they may have worn them a few times after that, because they're like, we've got good mojo going with these jerseys. And then there are other times
they're superstitious.
There are other times too where you'll bid on the jersey and you don't get to take it home with you, because they want to wash the jerseys because they've been worn during the whole game.
Oh no, that's kind of the appeal of it. Is there?
It's game more.
I know a guy who has a Joe Sakic, an autographed Joe Sakic game worn jersey from a Stanley Cup game, and it's in some special casing that's like vacuum sealed. He's like, his sweat's still on it; it hasn't been washed.
Okay, I will tell you. There's a guy who goes to UNO games named Jerry Petty, and he was actually officiating your daughter's youth hockey game in the Maverick Stampede on Sunday.
Yeah.
And he has a bunch of game worn jerseys, a lot of them from former Mavs who played minor league hockey and NHL hockey. And yeah, he's got a whole like routine for the game worn. No, you're not washing the game worn jersey at all. You've got to like, he has something where he just kind of like has a room where he kind of airs them out a little bit and might like lightly Febreze them from a distance. There's a whole like, there's a whole like archival method to the jersey thing. So he tries to get them in good enough shape, let them air out for enough months where he can, wear them to games and everything else. But you got to have the blood, sweat, and tears apparently from the players on there. So yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So we started a new segment last week.
The
Old Bowl, New Bowl.
Yeah. Although Bridget said we were supposed to call the new bowl Future Bowl.
Future Bowl?
Yeah, that's what she told me. Until they're here, and then we can call them.
Then we can call them New Bowl?
Yeah, I guess there's a whole protocol with that
Blasted
hashtag.
Technicalities.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So, Future Bowl.
Future Bowl.
Why don't we just call them Cavs? I mean, that's kind of what a Future Bowl is, isn't it, right?
Yeah, right? Cav.
Sure. All right, in any case.
Yes, in any case.
Ranging terminology, tangent. All right, so who we got for this week? What are we starting with?
Are we starting with the Old Bowl or the New Bowl?
Start with the Old Bowl. Let's start with
the Old Bowl. Okay, let's go with the Old Bowl. The Old Bowl is former Maverick Joey Martin.
Joey!
Yeah, and he plays for the Cardiff Devils over in Wales in the EIHL. What is the... You're wondering, what does the EIHL stand for? I don't know.
European International Hockey League?
I don't know. Let's
Are you looking it up?
Yeah.
I can tell you this because I watched. There's a YouTube channel that I watch that has a lot of hockey training information and stuff like that, and they're from the United Kingdom, and they talk a lot about how there's not a lot of hockey.
It stands for the Elite Ice Hockey League, and
Okay.
he's had a ton of success over there. What's cool about Joey Martin, number one, is that he follows us on Twitter, so we're always partial to former players who follow us on Twitter. And he has had a great run with the Cardiff Devils. He's been there since 2014, and they play 50 to 55 games or so per season.
Yeah, most of those European teams will play mid 50s.
This season he's had 29 goals and 30 assists.
That's a good production.
Very good production. Last season, 27 goals, 46 assists. Yeah, fantastic guy. And when I tweeted saying that we might mention him in the Old Bull segment on the podcast, the Cardiff Devils Twitter account was very excited, and they said, we refer to him as the greatest of all time. So
I saw that.
Did you see that? Yeah, you saw that because
yep.
I tagged you in that, and then you got all the notifications of that coming up. But yeah, he's had a long career, and he first came to UNO in the 07-08 season, and the Blue Line Club used to have an awards banquet at the end of the season, and they would do player awards, and they would have people sponsor the awards. And I remember the Red Army sponsored an award, and we sponsored the Newcomer of the Year award. So it was the Mavpuck.com Newcomer of the Year award. And the very first year we did it, Joey Martin was the Newcomer of the Year, and I was very excited. He was one of those small, quick forwards. We had a number of those guys back in that era, and he did really well. He was always an exciting player to watch. And his final season was 2010-2011, and that was during the early Dean Blaze years, and that was a year that we went to the NCAA tournament. That was a really good team.
Yeah, that was a good team.
Yeah, he did really well that year. He had 11 goals and 24 assists.
I like pointing him out just because I think a lot of casual fans,
right,
people that don't really know hockey, I'd say, they kind of get lost on players who aren't playing AHL or NHL, right?
Right, who aren't playing here in the United States.
Right. And I think a lot of people don't realize how many leagues there are around the world, and how many players are playing. You see the Olympics and stuff, but you don't realize how many of those guys are grinding it out on low salary or no salary kinds of teams just to keep the dream alive and play a game they love. So
yeah, it'd be interesting to know what the experience is like playing over in those Euro leagues, because a lot of players end up going over to those leagues.
Yep.
And we'll talk about some more of those later.
Yeah.
And I was going to say Coach Gabinet actually played in Sweden, it looks like.
Oh, yeah.
For a short time back in the,
Yeah.
back about 8 or 9 years ago. So
what about our calf? What about our future bowl?
Well, we got a lot of...
We had a lot of announcements this week.
Have we had 4 or 5 announcements like in the last 7 days? It's been a lot, hasn't it?
4 in the last week, that's what I remember at least.
It's crazy. Who knows? While
a
we're
lot of
doing
them,
this
I think almost all of them were verbal commits, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a little bit. We play that with I play that with caution, just
right?
Because a lot of those guys are usually 2, maybe even 3 years out, and
sure.
So there's some level of change that could happen with those kids. There's changes to the program that they may not like, and they decide they want to go someplace else. Until they put their name on a piece of paper that says I'm going here. I mean, you assume it and you want to go with it, but there's always that chance.
Especially when you're looking at the 16 and 17 year olds, because you know it's going to be a couple years. Now, the guy we're going to talk about today is one of those recruits from last week, and this is Caden Bolson.
Mm-hmm.
And he's an 18-year-old out of Minnesota, Wilmar, Minnesota. I did a blog post on him, so if you go to the news section on Mavpuck and scroll down, you can find it. But he's a guy who played for Shattuck St. Mary's. It's
another kid coming.
One of those great
Shattuck
prep schools, yeah. Jordan Clare on the roster is from Shattuck.
Product, yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think Caden might have been in the building Saturday night. I do laps, as you know, around the arena, get a little exercise, and I saw a tall, thin young guy in a suit, which that usually tends to mean when somebody's dressed nicely and they're thin and in shape, it usually means they're a hockey recruit. And he was outside 117, I believe, with Jordan Clare. So I wasn't sure for sure. And Bridget's like, did you go up and say hi? I'm like, no, I didn't go up and say hi.
How weird would that be?
No, that's really weird and awkward. So, so he's a recruit who had originally been committed. He committed at 16 to Minnesota.
Right.
And that was when Don Lucia was head coach there. And obviously this season, Bob Motzko's head coach.
Yeah. And again, see, that's the thing I was just talking about. You know, there's changes that happen sometimes outside of the control of that student. And they decide that maybe that's no longer the place I want to go. So, and that's, that's fine. He's decided that, UNO probably a better fit for him maybe.
Yeah.
Than Minnesota. So
I think so. Honestly, I think
there's some debate as to when he'll be here, right?
Yeah. Elite Prospects says 2020 is when he's going to come.
So a season away.
But you never know.
Yeah.
You never know what'll happen during the off season.
Yeah, I mean, he gets a chance to talk to the coaches about what his plans are and whether or not they want him here now or want him to spend a year or two.
Looks like a big, tall forward.
Yeah.
It sounds like he plays well on both ends of the ice. So
he's very. I saw some recruiting stuff that commented on his intelligence, his hockey IQ and stuff. Yep. So that's always encouraging to see.
Oh, for sure. So yeah, we'll be interesting to see follow him. But like I said, he plays for the Fargo Force. He was just traded this season to the Force.
This season, not too long ago.
Played with the Des Moines Buccaneers. So it'll be exciting. Fans can. I know a lot of fans follow the USHL, and so it'll be exciting to follow him next season. But I'm always excited to follow the new recruits, and it'll be interesting to see. We got a lot of guys are coming fast and furious. So
we're filling in. So we've got North Dakota coming.
Yeah, speaking of Fargo and the state of North Dakota, we're headed up to Grand Forks this weekend for our final series,
the last regular season. Series.
Yep. We'll
so
have
6 points at stake. When we get to the last game, you always have to talk about where we stand and who plays who. Denver gets Colorado College.
Yep.
We're rooting for Denver.
We are.
Yeah, because we can catch Colorado College.
It's like everybody told me on Saturday night. You're rooting for Western against St. Cloud, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm doing that or not.
Colorado College has 24 points.
Okay,
UNO has 18.
We have 18.
We can catch them.
We can tie them in the standings. We can
Did we play them twice or? Only
What?
once. Did we only play them one series, or did we play Colorado College twice?
No, we played them once.
Didn't we win both?
No.
Did we lose them?
We
split
lost and we got a tie.
A loss and a tie.
Yeah.
So
And then
we can't come over because the first tiebreaker is going to be head to head. So we'll lose the
I don't know.
head-to-head.
Does the shootout win doesn't count in any of that, does it? Because I think we won the shootout last November when we played them.
It'll be a win.
I have this
It'll go
here.
down as a win and a tie in the head to head.
Would it for conference?
For Colorado College, it'll go down as a win and a tie, and for UNO, it'll go down as a loss and a tie. So they'll have us on head to head. So we can't overtake them, but we can at least tie them in points.
Did they win the shootout? Oh, or did we win the shootout?
I don't know, I have to go back and look.
Are
you looking?
I'll look. Yeah, sure.
So we can finish 7th or 8th then. That's where we sit. We need Western Michigan to beat Miami, which hopefully Western Michigan has now realized that they're not as good as they thought they were, since they kind of got their butts handed to them this last weekend. And they're fighting. Denver's in 3rd right now. They're 4 points back at Denver, so they need 2 wins bad.
Yeah, Denver. Yeah.
North Dakota's on their heels, so they could end up without home ice in the first round, depending on how games fall this weekend.
Yeah, they could. So they're sitting in 5th place right now.
4th. Western Michigan's in 4th.
No, I thought you were talking about North Dakota.
Oh,
North Dakota's in 5th.
North
with
Dakota's in
31
5th.
points. Western Michigan is 4th with 35
As it stands
points.
right now, North Dakota goes to Western Michigan. Miami
Right.
goes to... We go to St. Cloud, Miami goes to Duluth, and College and Denver play again.
Yeah, wait a second. I think Miami plays Western this weekend.
Miami plays Western.
Okay.
So we need Western Michigan to win both games.
Is that in Oxford?
No. It's in... Yeah, it's in Oxford,
Is it in? Okay.
I think. You're right. Yeah, it's at Miami, Ohio.
I'm just going off the top of my head here. I do not have the upcoming schedule in front of me. So you've got Miami playing Western, and we play North Dakota. North Dakota's fighting for their life for home ice, so they have a lot to play for against us this weekend.
And we need point.
We do. I mean, which do you think is the more likely scenario here, that we get a win against North Dakota or they get a win against Western? Miami's been an interesting team the last couple weeks. They go into Denver and they get a 3-1 win, and then last week they were basically in a shootout this previous weekend in one of those games against Duluth. Was it the Friday game? Maybe. I think it was like 6-5 in overtime or something.
Unless Western Michigan can turn it around, the way they've been playing right now,
right?
I think that I fear that they lose both games.
They very well could at least.
And that would leave us. I think that leaves us in 8th, and we're going to St. Cloud. But
great, yay! I get to, because if they go to St. Cloud, I'm going to feel compelled to go to St. Cloud if UNO travels there for the first round of the playoffs. Because Lauren's
good for
there.
you.
Yeah, we're just like, do we have
in
to
this
swim
winter? You're going to travel up to St. Cloud?
Well, if I'm not going to go in a blizzard for it, in that instance, I'll
You
stay
might.
at home and watch it on NCHC TV. Well, yeah, if I get there and a blizzard happens to happen, I don't know what to tell you, but
What I would like to see happen is
okay.
and
What would you
I
like
think
to
would
see
be the
happen?
best situation for us is if Western Michigan beats Miami both games, so that they don't get any points.
Right.
We find a way to
Get a
squeak
point
out a tie or
something against
a win or something.
North Dakota.
Get a point. Get us into 7th.
and then you're hoping.
Go to Duluth. I think
let
we
me
stand
ask-
up best against Duluth.
You think but what if Denver could find its way into 2nd place, and so we finish 7th and we go play at Denver? I mean, because everybody says that we played Denver really well I mean, I know we haven't broken through against them, but we didn't break through against Duluth either. We only played one series against them, but
I would take either of those. And I know a lot of people are in that, like, I don't want to play Denver again. But I kind of
don't
get the
think-
feeling like our seniors are like, you know what? I am tired of losing to Denver.
I think
they
so, yeah.
may have the best attitude going in there.
they might. And this Denver team doesn't have the superstars that kind of thwarted us in the past.
Right.
So that'll be an interesting to see. I'd rather go to Denver if you're hoping they have a chance than either of the state of Minnesota teams, because
I'd take Duluth. I think we match up well against Duluth. I think our talent sets, and I think we play well against the Duluth, even up Duluth. I don't mind going to Duluth.
Okay. You just don't want to go to St. Cloud.
I don't want to go to St. Cloud.
I don't want, yeah.
I'm just, I know people gave me credit about this at the beginning of the season. I think St. Cloud is the best team in the NCHC. And
they are.
They only got, would they get 49 of the 50 first place votes on the rankings this week?
Who's the one guy
Who's the one guy that Mass?
Yeah.
Someone's got to say Mass.
Yeah, so, exactly. Yeah. I'll tell you right.
I appreciate the guy because I like watching Mass, but
I love how UMass is doing.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you, I just feel like if you were to put them on a neutral site, ice rink right now, I still think St. Cloud would take them down.
I want to see that. I really hope that those two teams meet up in the tournament because I really want to see what Maker does against St. Cloud.
That would be a great game, but I'm worried UMass is going to be one of those teams that goes in there and they get upset by, Air Force or something like that.
I worry about St. Cloud being that way.
Well, that happened.
I worry about St. Cloud getting in and going,
season.
We got this. And
that is too good a team, boy. If that happens, that would just be. If I were a St. Cloud fan, I would be just kind of distraught if that happened again this season because there's too much talent on that team for that to happen. But you're right, it could.
It happens a lot.
You start thinking about the Frozen Four. You start looking ahead, and those little teams come in. They put together a game plan, and they take you down.
I mean, the year that we went to the Frozen Four, I mean, you had
Mankato was the number 1 overall seed. I don't think people remember that.
Right.
And then they lose in that first game to Rochester Institute of Technology.
RIT.
And then, all we had was Harvard.
And we had Providence getting on and UNO gets in. I mean, there were that year there were upsets galore.
There were some big upsets, yeah.
So you never know what the tournament holds. And the same thing with NCHC. So every team's got a chance, every team gets in. We go on a run. These seniors really, pick it up. Things click for them.
They have an opportunity.
You win the tournament.
I'm hoping you don't have the older guys looking ahead to playing in the ECHL or AHL, that because depending on when the season ends, there's time for them to go do that. And that always makes me nervous every year that they're going to start saying, oh, I can go start my pro career now. Which I wish that they would adjust the season so that couldn't happen. But regardless,
so
I hope that they stay focused. But what do you think? Do you think we're going to go into a desperate North Dakota and beat them? I mean, we've had success in North Dakota before, but this is a tough one because they've got a lot to play for.
They've got a lot to play for, but I don't think they're as good as they have been in previous years.
Sure.
I think that we can find a way to get a point. I think we can either split or if we're going to do predictions here.
Okay.
I think I'm going to predict a split.
Okay.
It may be a loss and a tie split.
Okay.
Kind of thing.
That's okay.
Like we had against DU, but I think we get the point that we need to get us into 7th.
Okay.
And we see where the chips fall and where we have to go. But I don't think, to take it beyond our game, I don't think that Western Michigan's going to lose both games against Miami. The reason being, in the rankings right now, they are considered a bubble team. They are sitting, I think, 13th or 14th. You have to assume that at least 16 is out with what used to be called the Sun Belt Conference, but it's got Alabama, Huntsville in it.
I know.
You've got to figure one of those teams gets in and takes a slot out of the 16.
Right.
And then all you need at that point in time is 2 more upsets in conference tournaments.
Yeah.
Or 2 teams that were below you to do better than you, and Western Michigan doesn't make the NCAA.
Right.
And I think they're aware of how at risk they are, and I'm hoping that they will play better this upcoming weekend than they played in last weekend.
See, I'm worried that, the whole senior night, we've, had a tough season kind of like UNO has, that Miami's going to, I feel like Miami, for some reason, I just feel like Miami's going to split in that series and they're going to get 3 points out of it. That's my concern.
Ouch.
So UNO.
So it won't matter what UNO does. I mean, unless we get 2 wins. That's the only way we get out of that and still get into second.
Well, I'd be happy. I'd be happy with 2 wins up in Grand Forks.
Well, yeah.
When you, I'm not sure. I I know I tend to be the optimist in these predictions, but I'm going to say that we get swept
Okay.
at North Dakota. I want to qualify that by saying I know that it's a team that we match up with really well. And it's a team where we've gone in there and
So are you
played really
saying,
well.
before we get into that, so
Yeah.
you're saying 2 losses, or are you saying we get a point out of it?
I'm saying 2 losses.
2 straight out regulation and losses. Okay.
I don't think that North Dakota.
You think they want it.
I don't know. And then this is where the black helicopters start swirling in my mind because I start thinking about the conference really needs North Dakota to find a way to get to the NCHC frozen face-off so that they've got, a good cadre of warm bodies in those seats, people buying beer in the nearby restaurants and bars and things like that you know, they need those people coming. But again, I'm not going to go too black helicopter. I'm not going to say that there's a vast conspiracy that will allow them to get home ice, but I am going to say this, and it's a tough prediction because
keep in mind that points wise, North Dakota's kind of in a similar boat. They don't get in unless they win.
Right, exactly. They need
they don't have enough points possible between now and the end of the season.
They need to play their way.
They have to win the conference tournament to make the NCAA tournament.
Yeah. So they need as many wins as they can get.
So,
and they need to put them.
Desire wise, they're kind of.
So you're thinking. I see what you're thinking. You're thinking, are they just going to be kind of lackadaisical?
The only thing that they have to win is the potential for having Western Michigan come to Grand Forks. Right. That's what's on the line.
Right. But that's dependent on. I mean, you have to hope in that scenario that Miami takes a significant number of points in their series against Western Michigan this weekend.
They'd have to sweep.
Yeah. So, I mean,
so I think that's my mindset going into this and saying that we're going to get our point is because I think they're going to know after Friday where Miami sits.
I see what you're saying. So they're like, if Western wins on Friday at Miami, and even if they beat us on Friday, that they might be like
Saturday's like a throwaway. I don't know where we're
going
on the
road.
Anywhere.
We're going on the road next weekend anyway, so does it really matter?
Whereas if
where is North Dakota right now in the pairwise?
20.
Are they? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, so boy,
they're 20, and the last time I saw the numbers and ran them, the highest they can get to was 17. And you got, at this point in time, you got to assume best case scenario, 15 get in, plus the one conference winner that's not in the top 16.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, yep, North Dakota's sitting down there in 20th place. So,
and Bowling Green's looking like they're gonna want a spot in there. So,
I know, right?
And you've got Penn State at 16. So,
yeah. I'll tell you what, Guy Godowski's done a great job with that Penn State program.
You got Penn State at 16,
Notre Dame at 15, Western at 14. That makes for an interesting weekend because those two teams, like we were saying, have a lot to play for, Western and North Dakota.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens. I say we get swept.
Okay. You got swept. I got
you got a split.
Loss and a point.
Yeah.
Hopefully 3.
Get one of those ties. Hey, it would be...
Just a point. Just get us in. Get into the 7th. We'll see where the cookies fall. We'll see where we end up, right?
Yeah.
All right. Anything else before we sign off then?
I don't think there's anything else before they...
Other than to ask people to follow you on Twitter and Facebook.
We want people to follow Mavpuck on Twitter and Facebook.
You go to the website.
Yeah, you can sign up for a membership on the Mavpuck.com website, and you can post on our message board. And if you have an account on the Mavpuck message board, then when you visit the message board, it won't just say anonymous for everybody's name, so you won't have to wonder who posted the comments. You can log in and you can see who actually posted the comments.
You know it's Jason, that idiot.
Yeah, it's every comment's by anonymous. Yeah, that's exactly right. So, and you can find links to all of our social media channels on Mavpuck.com, and you can find links to past episodes of the podcast. And I know people like to play drinking games during the podcast with different words or phrases that I say. So if that doesn't make somebody doing a podcast even more self-conscious, I don't know what does. But yeah, you can be happy to do that, and you can share your experiences drinking. Our podcast will be celebrating its 21st episode next week, so it'll be able to do Mavpuck drinking games and drink with us on the podcast each week.
Are you going to drink then on the podcast since the podcast is
No,
21?
I'm not going to drink on the podcast. I'm 46 years old. I don't drink alcohol, so that's
I think it'd be interesting if you did.
Well, I'm sure it would be very interesting if I did. I'm sure we get all kinds of interesting content. The ratings for this thing would probably go through the roof at that point, but no, not at this point right now.
All right.
Yeah. So we'll leave you with that. We hope that the Mavs do well in North Dakota this weekend.
Yeah.
It'd be great to get a win or a tie, maybe 2 wins.
Yeah.
And to that we'll say good luck and go Mavs.
Go Mavs.